Welcome to the conversation today.
Thank you so much, Ranjini, for inviting me. Looking forward to some amazing conversation with you today.
Yeah, even I'm excited with the topic that we have chosen, and I'm sure you are the right person to speak and educate the audience. And we are talking about how to deal with situation where there is high pressure. It's easy to get frustrated, stressed, and angry. And you are the coach, and maybe the person behind the entire the book that you have written around how to manage things. So we'll run deep into that. Before that, I want you to introduce yourself. Uh, where are you joining from? What do you do? A little bit background so that people can get related.
Sure, thank you so much. I hope I do justice to the questions and the audience who are attending today. So, good evening, everyone. As you know, my name is Saurabh Patil. I am a global keynote speaker. I'm a SPR coach, that is Stop, Pause, and Restart, a framework which I designed to deal with anger. I'm also an author. I've started coaching and speaking 4 years back. So I coach CXOs, leaders, or even entrepreneurs on how to channel their anger, how to work on the triggers. I do one-on-one coaching. I also have a couple of products like head coaching, which is called as holistic evolving anger discovery, and an emotional mastery workshop to deal with the triggers, to channel them. And I'm also an entrepreneur. I run a small cafe in Mumbai where we serve some amazing, delicious food.
That's
So
beautiful. Okay.
yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, so that's one reason you are busy. Now I got to know that the delay in the response was because of multi work that you do. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. I can completely relate to, or maybe let me give you a background like why we are talking today. I remember connecting with you on LinkedIn, and later I invited you to another program where we were addressing a global audience, and then this podcast today. And I think what hooked me to your profile and the detail was especially anger management, with especially a man speaking about this and for men, which was very, I would say one of a kind, which I noticed in the recent times. So I am looking forward to as we create this conversation. So tell me, is there anything from your life that has got you in study this subject in emotional mastery, study anger so deeply? Is there anything from your life that turned it around?
Yeah, there's everything to do with my life because as a kid, I was always a short tempered guy. In fact, I used to get triggered very frequently, very quickly. Initially, I thought it was just because I'm a kid, it happens, I'm an introvert. And then as I grew up, you're always told you're a man, men get angry. So I thought it's just normal. But then later on, couple of years back, when I got into business, I noticed a lot of men going through the same anger, going through the same triggers, not able to handle the triggers backfiring, affecting the relationships. It affected my relationship with my family, my wife. It has affected so many men and their professional and personal relationships. So the day I got into coaching, I decided that this is going to be my subject because I have to first work on myself as a man and then make sure that this is reaching to a lot of men who are not able to channel their anger, who are not able to understand their anger. This is where I got into this subject of helping men channel their anger.
That's beautiful. I think we did touch upon a few things in the last conversation we had, but I want to know, like, what do you think is the most misunderstood emotion when uh, anger, or stress? People are talking about a lot. Pressure we are talking about a lot, but when it comes to anger, how is this misunderstood? Let me hear from you.
Well, I keep saying this a lot that anger is completely misunderstood because a lot of people take anger in a negative way. Some stereotype it that you're a man, anger is normal for you, which is again wrong. But anger is a good emotion. That is what I always say. Even in my book, I've said it. The reason, because anger is power, a power which can boost you, which can make you a better person, which can improve your, if channeled well, it can give an amazing power to become a better person and improve your skills and become a stronger person. But anger is very much misunderstood because people confuse emotional intensity with leadership strength. And shouting loudly, throwing things is perceived as showing power, showing strength, which is again wrong. Strength doesn't come by just shouting, throwing things, or even showing your intensity. Strength comes from channeling the anger or the emotion the right way and commanding the room without even shouting at it. So, anger is grossly misunderstood today.
Yeah. This is a rare phenomena that you're talking, because this is not what, no, I would say, at least for me, my father, I would say exceptionally, exceptional gentleman, I would say. I've never seen him get angry, you know, even in the most, stressed situations, or panic, where we can panic, where I have seen him be calm. So maybe I used to think it is his, it's a personality. He has that strength to be calm and, take, uh, maybe I would, my mother would say he's ignorant. But but it was a reverse for me only, because my mom would panic a lot, so that's a couple, like, that's a kind of couple who have raised me. I'm pretty a calm person personally, but I, also lose control, as you were speaking, with when it comes to children and things, and when you are under, situation that is actually, leading to a burnout, so let's dissect this. Like, what are the early signs that you see is like, like you're really reaching a, burnout, or, there is a overwhelm? And what are the early signs, like, for people who have to deal with leaders, or who are short tempered, so how they can really see that warning coming, like, yes, we have a case to handle now. Yeah.
Yeah, so yes, first of all, I would agree that we are all humans, and even if people say I'm calm, it sometimes we do get overloaded and get triggered. I, when I'm still doing coaching, sometimes I do get triggered, and when we and my wife are having conversations, so it's totally normal because we are all human. We are not perfect. But yes, there are a couple of signs, early signs, which tell you that yes, you're going through a burnout, you are getting triggered, you're losing the control. Most of the times, the early signs are irritation. There are times when we get irritated by small, minuscule things. Like, even if someone doesn't put a pen in the right way, even if someone doesn't pick up things in the right way, or doesn't respond in the right way, we get triggered, and the irritation copes in, and the irritation becomes your default reaction. So much so that everything you do is backed by an irritation and the reaction to it. Everyone around you feels annoying, even if it's a small thing. Everything feels heavy, even if it's like asking for a glass of water or picking up a glass of water, even that feels heavy. So irritation, frequent irritation, and irritation becoming a normal reaction to everything you do around you, to your even routine, that those are clearly signs of being burnout, because you're burned out, because you're getting irritated, because you're overwhelmed with so much emotion and anger that you lash out on everyone.
Yeah, I can completely, and I get to, remember so many instances where I would say, I would signal my children, like, your father is not in a good mood, so better not, do silly things and, push that button that he would be ready to blast at everyone. So I can clearly see. I think this is pretty, especially when we have high performing individuals at home, and when they come back home, this is their space where they can be they can be human. So, these it's easier that you get uh, carried away. But
Yep.
um, I don't know whether, with practice we can get to the awareness, like it's a trigger. With practice we can catch ourselves. But even if before catching ourselves, like what we can do to really get into a place where we can catch hold the first 10 seconds, like, I think most of us, we get into that flow and it takes some time to realize that it was a rush. But
Yep.
if you could help us, like, how we can, watch ourselves, or uh, so that we can catch ourselves early as we can.
Yes. So uh, we definitely don't notice the when we have lost track and we have just moved into the zone where we have started reacting on each and everything, even if it's a small irritating thing like um, uh, the phone for our phones falling out of our hand and we bumping into something. So we do tend to get into the flow without realizing that we are getting irritated. So one of the things is, see, when you get irritated, there is a space of 3 to 5 seconds before you start reacting.
Yeah.
If you can control that space, if you can, this is where my framework comes in: stop, pause, and restart. So when I use SPR, I say the first 3 to 5 seconds after a irritation is where you decide how you want to react. If you let go of that space, if you just let go, your emotions take over you, your emotions run you on autopilot, you will keep reacting in a wrong way, and then it will lead to more confrontations, arguments, and all. So those 3 to 5 seconds is where you stop yourself from reacting. You analyze what is going on, take the pause to revisit that what is happening. Is the issue very big? Is the issue unintentional? What is it? And then you restart with the right reaction, with the right mindset. Because when you restart, whenever you're reacting or whenever you're responding, you respond with the right intention. The moment you respond with the right intention, you have a clarity, and your response comes in the right way for that kind of a situation. The moment you don't respond, you react, there are no intentions, it becomes lashing out, it becomes a confrontation, it becomes argument. So those 3 to 5 seconds when you get irritated is the space where you should stop and not react.
Okay. So I can relate to a recent example, and maybe I'll share that a little later. But it is, I see, it's a matter of seconds, as you said, the first 3 5 seconds, like we don't know. By the time we are in the reactive mode already, and maybe in the guilt later, ki, oh, I reacted this way. Okay, so for leaders, let's say, when they are in a high pressure situation, and maybe in a common meeting also, this happens in a closed room also. And yeah, for now I'm talking in terms of a long term, how you can build a muscle around mastering your emotions. So often what happens is, initially we get to pause,
Yeah.
initially we get to stop, but when there is a conversation going on, you're continuously triggered back and again, and that's where you lose, all your calm, and it goes with, no, no, that's the one way of firing begins. So this is like momentary, what you said, but when it comes to long term mastery, how you can, create habits around, or practices around, that can help you build this emotional mastery.
So, yes, of course, SPR, using what I told you, how we use SPR is just a surface level to counter some reaction at the last minute or before you go into a meeting or before you react. Of course, SPR has to be implemented in the right way in the long run, because anger is just an information. It is not just emotion, it's an information. It tells you how you're responding and reacting. Healthy anger always draws boundaries, always points out boundaries, where you are going, how you are going, how you should be going. Destructive anger burns everything down around you. So, in long term, when you're going through continuous stress as a leader, taking quick decisions, taking the stress, handling professional life, handling personal life, it's it's easy to use SPR once, twice, and then go back to your reactions. So the long term is there are a couple of methods that we do. There are a couple of uh, exercises that I do in my coaching, and there is a new program called as Emotional Mastery for men and leaders, which I'm doing, and we are introducing a lot of exercises in that. So as I told you, the first 3 to 5 seconds are important. First, you start with the right breathing. In the first 3 to 5 seconds or the first 10 seconds, you start breathing slowly. You can do box breathing, which I think most of us know, or even if you're not knowing, breathe into the count of four, hold to the count of four, and then breathe out to the count of four, and again breathe into the count of four. So, this is what we call box breathing. Do box breathing in the first 5 10 seconds. Put one hand on your chest and breathe slowly for 60 seconds.
Okay.
This may sound very minuscule, but it actually resets your whole nervous system. And all your reactions come through the nervous system. The moment your nervous system is calm, your reactions change to response. Do this habitually. Lot of times, journaling helps because journaling is more like writing down your thoughts. Regular journaling, venting out can also be done through journaling because no one is watching. It's your private space. Movement is again. So one thing I noticed when I started my fitness regime last year is most of my stress vanishes when I go early morning to the gym or even run. Many of us have stopped exercising, many of us have stopped moving around. So, movement is one of the important aspects which helps you channel your rage or channel your stress as well. The stress that I used to experience, the triggers I used to experience have eventually, not immediately, eventually vanished because I've started exercising, moving around, running, walking. So, movement definitely helps you
Mm.
to overcome your stress. Another thing is silence, something which we don't practice today.
Yeah.
We keep reacting, we keep talking. We have forgotten to sit in silence with ourselves. If you see, there are so many coaches, so many podcasts who talk about sitting in silence with yourself. People, our ancestors used to do it regularly, but we don't find time to sit silence because we have so much around, so many information, so many gadgets who keep us busy all the time.
Distracted.
Regularly, I would suggest every day at least sit 10 minutes with yourself with all the gadgets shut off.
Mm.
The silence will take you to places, the silence will explore something amazing inside you which you never saw. Sit in silence with yourself. It's difficult initially, I do understand, but if you keep practicing it, it is going to calm your nervous system. It is going to make you a better person. And lastly, honest conversations. We do talk lot superficial things with people around us just to portray that how good we are, how better we are. Let's have honest conversations, what we are actually feeling, where we are lacking,
Mm.
especially men, because men fear judgment. Men fear, the stigma, the stereotype that is running around male, the
Mm.
strength, the weakness. But I think it's enough to say that let's stop that stereotype and stigma. Let's have honest conversations on what we have, what we lack. Because if we have real conversations, we can see real problems, we can solve real problems. If we have hallucinated conversations, we're going to only focus on hallucinated problems which never exist and then again back to zero. So let's have honest conversations. I think couple of these, if you practice every day in your life, it will bring about a big change.
Beautiful. I think all of that you shared, the tips and the tools, really amazing. And if someone is watching this, maybe live or over a replay, we want to connect with you to learn more about how they can learn this, master this under your guidance. What are the best ways to reach you?
So you can reach me via email, you can reach me via LinkedIn. I'm also there on Instagram. I can send you all my social media links, my email ID. You can reach me anywhere. I am available.
Very good. So if somebody wants, like, as, or someone needs help, you can reach out to Saurav on LinkedIn and Instagram. And we will have all the rest of the information in the description for people to reach out. So moving on, Saurav, I want to know, like, you are in the space of, like, you're aware, you're helping yourself, you're helping others. So what you advise you have to give families, like, in the sense parents, because to bring this change early in their children, especially young boys as they are growing up, there could be things that might have done differently in maybe the way you were raised, that you have to advise them that they become conscious individuals, that they can have the power to master their emotions very early, you know, and
Yeah.
with before they run into any trouble or therapy or coaching kind of thing. Yeah.
So, yes, of course, it is very important how you raise kids today, because kids, every generation learns to pick up things quicker. And
Yeah.
today, we are in an age where we are very much busy as parents, especially even both your husband, wife are busy. And top of that, everything for the kids is available on the social media. In fact, the information is so much overloading that the generation is getting confused what to absorb, what not to absorb, what is right and what is wrong. So it's very important that we are very much meticulous in terms of being a parent, especially fathers. There was a time when, fathers used to go out, mothers used to stay home, and then the relationship between a boy and a father was quite difficult because there wasn't hardly any communication. The only thing our fathers, or most of the fathers, used to ask, "What did you do in school today? Where's your report card? What are your
Yeah.
plans?" That's it. But today, the times are changing. Even there are a lot of fathers who are available, who are nurturing. There are a lot of fathers who are working from home, who are there for the kids, because your spouse is working, my spouse is working. There are times when I'm home in the mornings to pick them up from the school. There are times when fathers are available to cover up for their wives. So, no child wants a perfect dad. It's totally okay. But
Okay.
kids want a strong father. They need a regulated one, someone who knows his emotions, someone who knows how to react. And setting an example as a father in front of the boy is very much important. It's how you nurture your boy to become a man who is strong, at the same time respectful,
Hmm.
who is regulated in terms of emotion, at the same time understanding. That is important.
Yeah. Beautiful. I think roles, well, like parenting, culturally, we are, with the choices that we make, we are evolving. And yes, children are exposed to, an era, like, we are not prepared as parents. We are also work in progress
True,
as
true.
they are growing up. And sometimes I feel, I remember when we were in school, we used to have, we will not have access to our teachers unless you are in a tuition or somebody close to you in your neighborhood you can go and refer. But now everything is available on YouTube, on your fingertips. And yeah, it's a challenge. I would say it's a blessing, but at the same time it's
It's a
challenging.
challenge. And we are
Looking forward.
evolving as parents. Yeah.
Yeah. So, becoming conscious, becoming self-aware, investing in, understanding your own self helps. The earlier, the better. So, Saurabh, so far I'm loving whatever you have shared, and this is a very interesting conversation. Tell me a little bit about your book and why the book and what you tend to achieve with the book.
Yes. So I never intended to write a book, first of all, last year. And it was just a page of content or index that was ready. And it was just a couple of stories and couple of things that I learned as a man, from my experiences. So the book came out in the form of a story, how my life has come, what I experienced, where I faced problems in terms of a man who's a short tempered guy, getting angry, losing relationships, affecting the work, and what anger holds in your life. Because anger made me powerful at work. Of course,
Mm.
it made me a destructive individual as well. But later on, when I understood and learned to channel it, it made me powerful at work. It definitely had broken me at home, but it also made me a regulated man later on at home. And I saw this in many men. So I wanted to reach to all men through the book that learning the lesson is never too late. Anger is your emotion, which is a good one. Don't think that anger is negative. Notice your triggers. You will notice that there are a lot of talks about how triggers affect you, how we, unintentionally justify them. Instead of that, create awareness. The book talks about creating awareness and what action comes next after you realize how you can channel your anger, how the exercises in the book, the tips, the SPR, everything. So the book talks about my journey through anger and what today's men can do, how they can turn their rage or anger into resilience and powerful emotion, which can as an individual.
Wonderful. So do drop the book link in the
Sure.
comments that people can refer to, because to a point where they can get started to learning about really making it or I would say having a different conversation with anger. So anger is taken very negatively, bad, and that's why we run into guilt often when we get angry or lose control. But you know uh, we often talk, especially in the coaching fraternity, turning pain into power. So
Yeah.
here, you know this is possible with anger as well. You can channel it and use your expertise, your mentorship in living a life that you feel like you're uh, I would say fulfilled when it comes to as a personality everywhere, not just at workplace but at home also. You are loved, you are taken care, and you are respected for who you are, without
Yeah.
changing anything. So, before we close this conversation, I want you to tell us how you can turn this into strength when it comes to, and defining strength. I would say, how do you define strength in a way that you are not suppressing your emotions or feelings? So, give us a little bit around this, like how you can define strength.
Right. So when we talk about anger, anger does give you power. Uh, and when we talk about anger becoming your strength, it is a strength which gives you self command. It is not a strength which you suppress. It's a strength which gives you self command. Men were always told to power perform, not to process. And anger, hence, may not, doesn't make you dangerous. Unexamined anger does, but an examined, analyzed anger makes you more dangerous in the right way. So when I'm talking about channeling anger, you work out, just like I said, you move around. You When you're angry, when you use that anger as a power to change yourself in terms of fitness, you work out, you change your health. That gives you power and motivation. When you're working as an entrepreneur, you have an idea, you have the fire inside you, but there are times when you get angry, you lose faith in yourself. So don't let that anger destroy you. As I always say, use your anger before your anger uses you, because anger is like a car. The moment you let it drive, it is going to take you somewhere you don't know. It's going to destroy something that comes in the way, the people, the shops, the project, everything is, like your family, your personal relationship, your professional, and you won't be able to do anything because you are sitting at the back seat. The car is auto driving. The only thing you're going to do is feel guilty about it. So use that anger to drive you, that rage to drive you towards success, the power to motivate you, the power to give you strength to think, to perform, to execute. If you can do that, you can become a better man with the right way of channeling that anger.
Very nice. Very happy that you are, addressing this part where generally people don't talk about, and it's so courageous and so bold of you to really not just acknowledge this, but you're here to help others. You have helped yourself definitely, but you're here to talk about it and help. So, what's your message finally as people are listening, and what you have to say as a takeaway uh, in this conversation?
Yeah, just one thing, anger is a positive emotion.
Yeah,
Use it as a strength. Don't
wow,
let it use you.
beautiful. So, you have made anger an empowering conversation. A context that you have created is
Yeah.
empowerment. And I'm wishing you all the success. You transform the men fraternity, taking back their power, using anger in a
Thank you
productive
so
and
much.
way, and transforming not just our families and societies, building a powerful nation as well. So thank you so much for this conversation. I'm
Thank you
looking
so
forward
much, Rajni.
looking forward to more, and we'll see how we can take this forward. So take care.
Definitely.
Yeah. Good night for now.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.